Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you are watching TLDR, the LockerGnome Daily Report, your daily dose of geek news, gadget views, and answers that you can use. And it may have been a while since last you heard me say it. It's currently 10 in the morning according to my virtual tick clock. You see it's 1 light there, 1000. That's how you know the time. And you can see above me, the clocks aren't exactly in sync right now. That's okay. It's still kind of fun to have, and I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of them. This is like a very iconic view. So thank you for tuning in. This is a live stream going out to YouTube, and today, surprisingly enough, I remembered to turn on the mic. Unlike yesterday, where I went like this for about 15 minutes, no one could hear me, and I captured an animated GIF and posted that moment when I realized that it was muted. But it's not muted now, so thank you for tuning in. Let me go ahead and pop over here. Make sure I did everything fine. I did, it seems. Thank goodness, because if I didn't, I'd be worried. So I have to thank every one of our supporters right now, because really without them, this would not be possible. I'm taking an approach of using a service called Patreon, and if you head over to the link in the video description, patreon.com/Chris Pirillo, you can learn more about it and why I'm taking this direction with doing stuff for you, the stuff that you want me to do. That is, geek out, on a daily basis. So it's because of I was going to say because of the patrons, and I was actually going to give you an exact count. Oh, beautiful! 348 patrons this morning. I told you yesterday. Then when we hit 350 patrons, I'll upload my very long-winded Nexus 5 review. So we only need 2 more today, and then I'll, upload it, and everybody will be able to watch it. They've been able to get a preview, and of course, other values that I've promised patrons, including the Hangout, which I promised for patrons a certain level on up. It's a monthly support system. It's not going away, just like I'm not going away because of people like them. Thank you, patrons. So let me go ahead and mention who they are. Jacob Shea, Tom Matthews, Brandon Hawkins, Anthrit, who I believe wants to go by the vlogger in Montana. He's going to correct me if I got that wrong, but thank you for your support. And Mark Hyder as well. Saif Mahmood, who I believe is a new higher-level patron. Thank you, Saif. Eva Brown, Jennifer Metz, Christopher Wall, Daniel Spiva, Ulin Soli. He hasn't corrected me on his name yet, so I'm assuming that's correct. Joey Hernandez, Andrew Myers, Chris Miller. Chris is the guy. Hang on, I'm going to do it. I realize that I should not walk out of frame, and that I've destroyed my ego shelf, but Chris Miller is the one who drew this on a box that he sent us last year, and I loved it. I love this kind of fan art. Thank you, Chris, and thank you for being a patron. We also have Mark Flores, Alex and Tom, Daniel Hadley, Ben, and I don't really have Ben's last name, but thank you. If your name's Ben and you're not a patron yet, well, maybe you'll join, and well, if not, then you can pretend to be that, Ben. Gregory Stepp, Kieran Bold, Sven Rosler, Mike LaRue, John Dezel, Ross Milne, Schwazy 2013, Tony Ross, Andrew Neocleus, Jonathan Perez, Eddie Bingham, Brian Brinkley, Matt Pegler, Fraser Walker, and Brian Roberts. Cheers to everybody out there. I am sipping my morning juice. Otherwise, I would not be awake. These patrons make it 100% possible for me to do TLDR. I expect the number to grow by leaps and bounds over the next few years as we continue down this path. I also have to thank, at this point, a sponsor who's also making it possible at this stage, because, I'm giving my time, you're giving your attention, we got to figure out that balance somewhere, and this is how it's going to work. So, this particular broadcast was brought to you by GoToMeeting with HD Faces by Citrix, the powerfully simple way to meet online. You can share the same screen and see each other in HD video conferencing. Start hosting a GoToMeeting in seconds from your computer or mobile device by signing up for a free 30-day trial. Visit GoToMeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, and use the promo code Pirillo. So, now that I've got those pleasantries out of the way and hopefully convinced a few more of you guys to become patrons, let me go ahead and dive right in to the day's tech news and geek news that I see, the stuff that's I think is fit to share. One thing that's just come out, a bit of news, Microsoft is readying a link app for Android tablets. If you live in Microsoft's ecosystem, This is something to pay attention to, especially if you have Android devices or specifically an Android tablet. I think over the coming months, you're going to see Microsoft releasing more and more applications, certainly bundles for their services for the platforms that Microsoft doesn't own. Does this surprise me? Not at all. What does surprise me is that Microsoft, even though we've heard scuttlebutt that'll happen soon, has not yet released Microsoft Office for the iPad. Dude, you want to talk about bank. Like, even if they gave it away for free and just charged people for an Office 365 subscription, so many people would pay for it just to have that on their iPad. I don't know if I would, because I'm fine with Google Docs. I do not use the iCloud suite of services, including or most of them, in terms of document creation, like, Pages, Numbers, Keynote. In fact, my favorite presentation app still remains, to this day, not just because it's a Seattle company, Haiku Deck. It's an iPad app, free, but it's also now available on the web. Haiku Deck. And if you need to know how to spell it, just Google it. Google will correct you. Don't worry about it. Hulu has hired a former SVP at Sony Network Entertainment as CTO. Hulu's been, I think, an interesting experiment, and I'm glad to see it kind of buckling down. I would say it's almost an essential part of our entertainment options, or the array of it, or what we might have access to. I mean, the thing I like about Hulu is that most of the popular shows that I would want to watch are available almost immediately there, like recent seasons, and some even like past seasons, like way, way past seasons, available on Hulu. And so, I'm still using Hulu right now on a Hulu Plus subscription. I ended up working out a deal with them. I think it's huluplus.com/Chris, where anybody can get a 2-week free trial, which is pretty cool. Because normally it's just a 1-week free trial. So there you go, a little bonus for you. If you're not, on Hulu Plus at this point in time. Swipe keyboard may very well be coming to Windows Phone 8.1. And that's the next update I just wish they would come up with a better name than Windows Phone. I don't know if they're going to eschew it at any point. Maybe. I argued this years ago. I thought they should have gone with the Xbox brand. They did that. I guess Xbox Music, that's the brand now. It's no longer Zune. I can't even remember anybody else who had a Zune. I had a Zune. Am I the only one who had a Zune? I may very well be the only one who had a Zune. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't. I'm not sure. Let me know if you had a Zune. Let me know if I'm not alone. Or maybe I am alone. AirPlay Recorder app lets Mac users save songs from iTunes Radio. You may remember Double Twist is a piece of software that at one point in time really served a different function and not as useful as it used to be. But I guess this feature may very well reboot that as relevant in terms of people who are using a Mac or specifically OS X. Which is the only way to, really run OS X is on a Mac. Well, at least according to the license agreement. I don't want to get into the whole Hackintosh, debate. And if you want to do that at this point, I don't care. I'm just not going to talk about it because it's not what interests me. And I believe the biggest value Apple brings to the table is not just its hardware and software, but specifically its service. And when you slice off that leg, you're really not left with much other than, maybe, geek cred. For doing what you want to do with what Apple has produced. But I'm big into making sure I have service there. The Galaxy S5 from Samsung is set to have a 5.2-inch screen, sharper display, improved battery and camera, and may be coming alongside an updated Galaxy Gear. Never used the Galaxy Gear, saw it on Dez's wrist, did a video on it. I remain one of those people who isn't really sure if he's inclined to wear something around his wrist all the time. I've tried. I'm just not generally a fan of those things. They just annoy me. But if there's enough of a benefit in wearing it, yeah, maybe. It's just I didn't see enough of a benefit in the Galaxy Gear. I mean, even the commercials were like, the guy would pick up his, I think he was using a Note. He'd see someone was calling on the Note right here. And then what he does is he turns over his wrist and does this. And I'm like, well you're looking at your phone screen, dude. Like, you can use your phone. You just added a piece of technology that didn't really need to be in the mix. Wasn't really the best way to advertise the Galaxy Gear, in my estimation. Not to slag on anybody who wanted a Galaxy Gear and loves their Galaxy Gear. Hey, knock yourself out. Not really. I'm not saying knock yourself out. I would not advocate any kind of violence. It's your choice. It was your money. There's another bit of news that I know I saw last night that was interesting. I think for some of you, maybe not for me necessarily. And by the way, just to give a nod to those who were able to make it here live, thank you for joining. And I can see that we're still rolling forward. Thank you for your comments as you leave them during this broadcast. The first U.S. Bitcoin ATMs are set to open soon in Seattle and Austin. That's on the other side of the country. Well, not other side, it's not Seattle. Austin is definitely not Seattle. So I may visit a Bitcoin ATM. Although I'd probably be afraid to do that because there's a lot of snaky things that are happening with cryptocurrency and in Bitcoin in general. I'm starting to understand it a bit more because I've had people like Barnacles Nerdgasm explain it to me. And I don't know. I don't think I linked his channel in the vlog yesterday on our other YouTube channel, the one that's pretty much dedicated to vlogs now. But Barnacles is absolutely a geek you should subscribe to. He's a local guy. His channel is growing by leaps and bounds. He's a 3D printing fanatic, a mechanic, a software developer, and amazing guy. I mean, we can talk for hours, and we did. So pay attention, because what we may end up doing is launching a regular live broadcast where it's myself, him, and maybe a couple of other people just geeking out for hours on end and doing it live on the internet with beers in front of us, not necessarily coffee. I'm not at my best in the morning, and still I'm doing this because I definitely want to get the news out there and my perspectives on the news as well. I mean, it's not just sharing the news, right? You watch me. You can go to the news, listen to the news anywhere and catch it anywhere, and there are fantastic apps to help you digest news on your phone. So why do you come to me? You want my perspective. You want my humor. You want my presence so you don't feel so alone. Great. Well, whatever your reason is, I am very, very grateful to have you. Whether you are a patron or whether you're not, I just appreciate your support all around. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to flip over to another list of stuff that I had. We have... Oh, there we go. Another rumor yesterday was that there were a couple of executives, or at least one executive at Apple, meeting with Tesla's CEO, Elon Musk, about things. Could you imagine if Apple were to acquire Tesla? At this point, that's a wild rumor, right? But there's some validity to that. Now, the next question would be, Chris, would you buy an iCar? Well, let's see here. I use an iPad, iOS 10, iOS, but I have other stuff too, as you very well know. But I just like the way Apple does, to this point. I like the way they do service compared to others. So I think if Apple did anything, it's interesting to see what they might do if they acquired. But I'd specifically be looking at a massive disruption in not just how cars work, because I don't think that you could disrupt it that much. What do I know? I'm not a mechanic. But I would be interested in seeing how the service end of owning a car is disrupted. And I think Apple could do just that. So, yeah, count me in. I'd do it. I would. Sure. And you know me. I drive one of those hybrid cars. I don't care. I don't care about cars. If it's got a steering wheel and a radio, I'm happy. You don't even need to have a radio. Bluetooth connection. I'm happy. Especially if I don't have to pay that much at the pump. Then I'm a fan. I don't do a lot of driving, at least for extended trips. Not usually. So most of my driving, I would say, is in town, and I would be suited for a full electric vehicle. It's just I like having the option, just in case. Flip over to the gas engine, just in case. You never know. Don't want to have that stress in my life right now. So, interesting rumor. I'd be yeah, very, very interested in that. I think a lot of people would. You may get some amount of pushback, especially from car enthusiasts, just like you might have from, let's say, smartphone enthusiasts, if you happen to own an iOS device. But, hey, I'm happy to own an iOS, Android. I got to remind people this every day. Otherwise, I get slagged left and right. I love that word, slag. Pick that up. What was it? It used to be a swear word in Alien Nation eons ago. Boy, that's some old sci-fi. Lego is going to be producing, and I did mention this on Twitter and Facebook, and it was a few weeks ago, but they're going to be producing, and these are the official first images, a Ghostbusters set. This is a Lego Kusu set, much like the DeLorean, which I did a build on, much like the Minecraft set, the original one, which I did a build on. Those videos are in the other channel. Although, I gotta ask you this too, and I'm probably going to do it here anyway. If I do a Lego video, it's probably going to be in the Geek Lifestyles channel, because it fits more here, unless it happens to be more of a vlog type of video, and then it goes into the other channel. So yes, I absolutely will be buying this, if only for the minifigs. That's right, I look like Egon Spengler right there. Let me zoom in here. These are the official images. Sorry, the resolution's not incredibly high, but I'm very much looking forward to that set. The official pictures have been released. I think it's going to be released in June, of all things, so I can wait. I'm not worried about that. Another thing I want to let everybody know about is a Sideshow toy giveaway. This is a special that I negotiated for you. If you want to have this Darth Vader statue, a deluxe 6-scale figure, it's very high quality, hundreds of dollars. This is how much that Darth Vader is worth. Even if you don't like Darth Vader. I do, obviously. But even if you don't, this is one hell of a giveaway. You've got to qualify. Just hop over to the page. I'll put the link in the video's description. You enter, and you're good to go. So this is a Chris Pirillo Presents Darth Vader giveaway. I'm not giving away Darth Vader, just the statuette. And very happy to do that. This thing is super high quality. Like it's like this. If you had just one in your collection, this would probably be it. Collectors love this kind of stuff, and I'm a collector. I'm a horrible collector though, because I take things out of boxes. Okay, I'm an enthusiast. Can we settle on that? Because I tell you what, 5 years from now, I guarantee this Darth Vader statue is going to be worth a hell of a lot more than this. Just give me a little context there as to why I think the way I do. But that's just a part of being a geek, right? Okay, that's part of being Chris Pirillo. That's a lot. If you do happen to be a Mac user or thinking about switching, and I've had a few emails come in recent days asking about which Mac they should buy. I'm happy to give advice. In fact, I'm offering that as a value to some patrons, because I get so many people asking for purchasing advice. So that's another reason to become a patron. You could read all the values on the Patreon link. If you head over to deals.lockergnome.com, we have a new Name Your Own Price Mac Bundle 4.0 with Snagit and Flux 4. All of these apps, including Chronicle 5, iTunes Cleaner, just Tunes Cleaner, Mac X Video Converter Pro, perfect, Jump Desktop, Boom, Mariner Write, and the list, it's not extensive, but it certainly is better than just paying this amount of money to get this much software. You're paying this amount of money and getting this much software. And that's one of the reasons I love doing these bundles. So if you are a Mac user, hop over there, take advantage of it, set your own price. If you know of a Mac user, you may want to let them know about this link. And I think we still are doing the, refer a friend. If you refer a friend to this, you earn $10 to apply to a future LockerGnome deal. And if you haven't visited that site in a while, you might want to do that. Not just LockerGnome.com, where we're finding all sorts of geeky goodness for you every single day. Every day. Now we're back to every day. Can you believe that? What I've promised for TLDR, is to be able to do this daily broadcast between 15 minutes and 30 minutes every weekday. If you want me to geek out longer than that, then what we're going to have to do is kind of keep those patron numbers climbing, because I promised it a certain amount. What I'll do is I'll go to a half hour to 45 minutes worth of geeking out every day, and then if we hit another level, then I'll geek out for an hour, and maybe I can adjust the values as we hit those goals, including possibly if we hit that a larger goal, what I'll do is basically make the live links available for everybody. This was streamed live, but the people who are the patrons for TLDR, the LockerGnome Daily Report, they know where to see the link live. And I'm going to be changing the times, in various weeks to find the best time for everybody, because you can't find a perfect time to live stream, because inevitably someone's going to be asleep, or someone's going to be at work, someone's going to be at school, so I got to mix it up. That's a good, I just thought of that. Maybe we'll do that. I'll set a goal so that if we reach that level, the live links will be for everybody again, and I think that's a value. Maybe. I'll ask the patrons, because they get priority. I'm going to go ahead and talk about a couple of other YouTubers now. I just saw a video not long before broadcasting Boogie, who you've probably seen before, he's got, 1.6 million subscribers, posted something about another fantastic YouTuber, goes by the handle Total Biscuit. And I enjoy both of their content. I enjoy them as content producers. Not a gamer, you know me, which I'm kind of grateful for, because it seems like that kind of content would just invite vitriol. And I'm very, very happy to say that, every day, yes, I have to weed out more and more morons. I would rather not address them. I'd rather address the people who want to support me directly and not here to hate. And that's another reason I've gone the patron model, because I'm not going to chase large numbers of subscribers anymore. I care. You get a new subscriber, that's awesome. It's one other person that I have an opportunity to influence in a positive way, right? Dave from Geekanoids, let me see if I can pull up his tweet here. Again, minutes before the broadcast, sent out his, what was it? Was it his 100,000th tweet? And he sent it out to Bull, and he tagged, and I'm sorry, my screen is not, let me see here. Let me dim the screen so you guys can see this here. Can you see? Maybe I went too dim there. And I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about the screen. There. Okay, did we find a happy medium? He tweeted us, myself and John for Lakers. Well, what's interesting about that? And he's talked about it in public before. John said that he'd always look up to me in the videos I was doing on YouTube, and now John is just like such an amazing success. And I don't know how he determines success, but I would determine success as doing what you're doing, love doing it, and just finding that happiness within yourself and inspiring others, right? So it's passing that on, and so now we've helped somebody else. And he, by the way, Dave, also known as Geekanoids, has a Patreon campaign as well. So the fact that he did that, I was just like, dude, I'm not worthy. In fact, I even CC'd an animated GIF of the "We're not worthy, we're not worthy." Ooh, this will be today's animated GIF. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. See, now you have to stay tuned for that. I'll clip it out and share it on Google Plus and Tumblr, where animated GIFs work. Maybe Pinterest too. Don't use Pinterest a lot, though. I'm not the demographic for Pinterest. So, Boogie did this video, and he talked about all the stresses and frustrations that producers have. And I totally get it. But I'm also so grateful that I decided to take this path with what I want to do. I'm done fighting wars with people who don't care about me or whether I show up or not in their subscription box. And let's face it, most subscribers do that. You may like the stuff that I do, but if we don't find that value that we agree upon, it's going to be very difficult for me to continue to do things. Total Biscuits now, and that's his handle, is thinking about walking away and potentially destroying his entire career, which is now based on the things that he loves to do. Yeah, I would implore, and I'm going to do my best to try to connect with Boogie on this directly. I said, dude, look into something like Patreon. Forget the masses, man. I think chasing the subscribers is just a dead-end game. A lot of people assume that ad revenue is awesome because you've got an ad. Well, I've already talked about this to patrons before, but the reality is there are more people fighting for the same amount of money. So that means you're getting less money. And if the issue doesn't come in because, well, you're not worth that much money. The issue comes in is because when you value the things that I'm doing at this level, and we may be in parity, and what I'm able to do with my time is in parity with your value. Well, if that value starts to slip over here, but you still value the content just as much, it's like TLDR. Like, where did it go? I miss it. Couldn't do it the way I was doing it before. The market realities just did not work. And so your value for content may not change. And that, I think, is where patrons need to kind of step up their game. They really do. And I think it's going to be a better model especially for larger YouTubers. Not because they're just going to rake it in, but because they're just going to eliminate a lot of the stress and strain from hate. There are psychopaths out there. I mean, there was a study done, and I even tweeted this back to Boogie, like when I was having insomnia in the middle of the night for a completely different reason. I wasn't stressing about anything. I tweeted him. There was a study done suggesting. Now, see if I can find the damn thing. I probably tweet too much, but you know what? Life is short. Tweet it. Give me a second. I will find it. Okay, maybe I won't. Give me cheese and crackers, Chris. How much do you tweet? Okay, I want to pull up the study. There we go. Found it. Many news agencies have reported it. But it was, this is one of the headlines. Online trolls show signs of being sadists, which means you can't avoid it. And the more subscribers you get, the more hate you're going to get. That doesn't scale. I mean, you may be publishing to the masses, but the more you publish and the more attention you get, the more hate you get. And the more hate you get, the more that wears you down. And you imagine, oh, you just suck it up. You have no idea. The onslaught is constant. So I'm going the opposite direction. I am going to do my best over the coming years to address everybody. Certainly, I love to inspire people. It's kind of what I do best. I inspire people to be better themselves. But one of the things that I'm going to be concentrating on, so long as I can get the page to refresh, there we go, is specifically patrons, people who are pledging a level of support on a monthly basis to say, Chris, you know what? Your time is worth this to me, and I appreciate that, and certainly will go above and beyond for those people. The almost 350 people, maybe by the time this broadcast goes live, we'll have 350. Those 350 people, I'll tell you, will get more, I'm not going to say they're more important. Everybody's of equal importance. They'll get more attention, more of my attention than the masses. So you get that? I may have 330,000 subscribers in the vlog YouTube channel. We've got about 10,000 in this channel. Okay, let's just stick with this channel, right? The Tech Geek channel that we just launched specifically for the TLDR reboot. 10,000 subscribers in this channel, but only 350 of them are saying, Chris, you're worth it. What you're doing for me is absolutely worth it. And I would get far less hate by addressing a smaller audience who genuinely cares, instead of chasing that bigger number and playing the subscriber game. I'm going the opposite direction, folks. I'm just telling you right now. I'm not, you can look and compare all you want, but I am just, right now, just one guy sitting here in the chair, geeking out, telling you how I see it, giving you my perspective, maybe inspiring, drinking coffee in the morning with a slightly snoring dog to the side. So I just wanted to go off on that for a second, not because I had that as an agenda, but because that was what I was watching earlier today, right before I started to broadcast. And people have asked in the past, Chris, what channels do you subscribe to? I really don't subscribe to a lot of channels. I don't watch a lot of content that I also enjoy creating. I read a lot, but I don't necessarily watch a lot, because watching takes time. I understand. Let's see here. If we have anything else that I wanted to cover, I don't think so. I think we've hit our mark right around 30 minutes. And certainly, I've been doing business for 15 years and have seen the market fluctuate. And I even got asked by a kid 2 days ago, who apparently he's getting on average 10,000, 20,000 views per video. I'm like, and he's about to finish high school, wants to go into college, but he's not sure. He's asking me, should I go into college? I'm like, I can't make that decision for anybody. The thing I got from college was the discipline and getting a degree and those experiences, right? The degree never really served me, but that discipline did. I was able to see it through and push myself through some difficult times. Of course, I had to pay off student loans, but here's the thing. YouTube may not be around forever. Keep that in mind. Or you may be averaging this many views now, but as more people come online, your views may dip, or your views may increase, but the value of those views may dip. So unless you figured out a business model around it, I'd be very careful. Very careful. Especially if your business is in some other business's hands. Think about that. And especially if you're thinking about a career, I hate to tell you, if you're doing something like that, it's a business. It's a business, and you have to treat it as such. The thing you got to remember is do what you do well, and everything will work out. Do what you do well. The challenge is when you have to do things like the way they have been done traditionally, especially on YouTube, you can't concentrate on content as much. There's too many other things distracting you. So do your best to clear those problems off your plate and get to do what you enjoy doing. Kind of like what I'm doing now. And that's, again, thanks to the sponsors that I've been able to find this stage in the reboot game, as well as we're still at 348 patrons. Well, that's not disappointing. I'm not disappointed. I'm just hoping that we'll hit 350 today. I'm going to hold that up. That's the number I like to see right there. That's the number that's going to... we're going to look back on this a year from now and say, 348, wow. Those are the pioneers. Yeah, you're a pioneer just for watching this far into the video. So thank you, everybody. Have a good day. If you see something interesting that floats across your bow, go ahead and tweet me, email me, chris@pirillo.com, and maybe we'll be discussing it in tomorrow's TLDR. So until next time, we'll you later.